Now with the vehicle in the air, on the passenger side, here's the lower portion of the right front of the back bumper, or the front bumper, excuse me, right behind it. We've got the lower radiator support. Right up above these two hoses is actually the radiator drain that you need to get to, and just turn it counterclockwise. It's just a matter of turning it a few times and start pulling it out as you're turning. I'm going to try to get up in here without blocking your view too much, but that may be a little bit more difficult, or easier said than done. Get up in here and get it started. Like I said, make sure your antifreeze isn't super hot right now, because you're going to get some on you and everywhere else. You don't need to be burning yourself. Take your time. And as you're getting it out, kind of twist at the same time, because there's a point where it kind of is a corkscrew type design. You also have to pull off. As you see now, we got our antifreeze coming out, and once that's all the way drained, we'll go ahead and work on getting that cooler off. We've got a total of 5 inverted Torx bolts that hold this assembly down in place. You look down here, you'll see 4 regular Torx bit bolts that you're going to be leaving. Those go on the cooler and attach it to the assembly. We're taking the whole assembly off with the cooler, so leave those in place. You've got 4 going around the perimeter of the cooler, and then you've got 1 up near the front here. Now, my socket, which is made by Matco, states that it's a B8XR, which is a B as in Bravo, 8, X as in X-ray, and R as in Romeo. That's what I'm using. Once I get the bolts off, then I'll worry about getting the connectors loose from the oil temp, the oil pressure, and gaining access to that clamp on that coolant hose. Now we got all the bolts out of the way. Now it's a matter of start prying and pulling until we finally pop it loose. Now with that loose, now we can get to everything a little bit easier. Now we'll work on getting to the connector. We're going to release the locks for the oil temp. Squeeze and pull out of the way. The oil pressure, luckily they didn't put a secondary lock on it. Pull that back, and now we just got to worry about getting to the clamp for that coolant hose. Now we got a little more easy access now it's out of the way. Go ahead and get that out of the way, and then I've got a special pair of pliers that grabs heater hoses, and I can break it loose that way. So we'll work on it until we get it loose. Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. We're now out of the way. This is our old one. We'll go ahead and throw it to the side. And now it's going to be a matter of getting all the old oil out of here, because that whole valley, as you can see, is covered and has about a good inch or 2 of just oil in it. So I'm going to use a fluid Mighty Vac extractor, and we're going to work on getting all that oil out of there. It's going to be kind of hard to clean everything out because it's going to be inside the bell housing. You spray what you can. The oil cooler assembly has a specific torque sequence as well, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the torque specs on that is going to be 106 inch-pounds. Exact same specs as what you're going to see on the lower intake as well. Like I said, 106 inch-pounds on the oil cooler. On the lower intake, the torque on the 8 bolts is going to be 106 inch-pounds. Not feet, but inch-pounds. So, there's actually a torque sequence on here. As you can see, you've got your 1, jump over to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Make sure you follow that procedure, in 106 inch-pounds on the lower intake. Now the upper intake has a specific torque specs as well, and also a specific sequence that you're going to do it. For example, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in that order. Now the torque specs on these bolts is 89 inch-pounds. Like I said, 89 inch-pounds. One of the key items after doing this repair of that oil cooler is to get all the air out the cooling system, because we did drain antifreeze. We're going to put antifreeze back in. And this vehicle actually uses a purple colored antifreeze, which is good for 10-year, 150,000 miles. Now, on the thermostat housing itself, this little X-shaped top thing item right here is actually a bleeder. So what you want to do is fill a system all the way with antifreeze as high as you can get it. And you want to open up the bleeder till you start getting antifreeze pouring out. At that point, everything in the block, all the air in the block has been taken out. As you see, I got antifreeze starting to come out now. So at that point, I can shut it. Once I get it shut, then I'm going to recheck the level of the coolant on the bottle itself. And as long as I'm within the lines, I'm good to go. If I need to top it off, great. If maybe I got too much, I need to remove a little bit, so be it. But it's a key thing to get all the air out of the coolant system so that you don't have a tendency for it to want to run hot afterwards. So as you saw, having to remove that oil cooler assembly due to that massive oil leak we had, there's a few steps involved. Like I said, pretty much me, the hardest part is that elbow going up to the intake. From there on, it's just a typical disassembly of an engine as far as the upper end. Otherwise, just take your time. Bleed the fuel pressure out how you feel safe about doing it. And like I said, I have my way, and then there's another way, the correct way by the book. But otherwise, it's pretty cut and dry. You saw it step by step. Just follow my instructions. Try to clean out the area the best you can because oil will be everywhere, like I said. Just clean what you can, spray up underneath, pressure wash, hose, anything, especially before giving it back to the customer. And if you're going to give it back to and it is a customer's car, let them know. They still may see a little oil residue for a period of time. You're not going to be able to get up inside the bell house and spray everything clean there. So tell them just expect some as it comes back to have oil changes done and whatnot. Just kind of clean the air off more and more until finally it's all gone. So with that, I greatly appreciate you watching this video. Always stay tuned for more, and please subscribe. If you have any questions about this, any comments you want to leave, good, bad, whatever, thumbs up, thumbs down, it's cool with me. Otherwise, always stay tuned for more.